The In the Den podcast with SIMBA and Spokecast is produced locally and independently by Spokecast. Intro music provided by Logan Daniel McDonald. What is up, Lexi, and welcome back to In the Den, a collaboration between SIMBA and Spokecast. On today's episode, Alexis and I sit down with Carey Donaldson, the founder of NewBeginnings Spokane, the only student loan advocacy company in the country. Carey shares how her path from aspiring educator to entrepreneur led her to create a business that helps people take control of their money and their future. We talk about how NewBeginnings Spokane makes student loans less overwhelming, builds personalized repayment strategies, advocates for public service loan forgiveness, and fights for a better financial education in school. Carey opens up about her entrepreneurial journey, her connection to SIMBA, and her advice for anyone starting a purpose-driven business. I can't wait for you to hear this entire conversation with Carey. It was such an interesting conversation. I had no idea this company existed in Spokane, and everything that they're doing to help people with student loans is so interesting and unique. You need to go check them out on their website. If you want to learn more about them, go to their website in the description of this episode. But I will not keep you any longer. Here is our conversation with Carey Donaldson of NewBeginnings Spokane. Enjoy.
Welcome to In the Den with SIMBA and Spokecast. Today we are joined with the amazing, talented Carey Donaldson from SIMBA member NewBeginnings Spokane, the only loan advocacy company in the nation. And so she helps students figure out financial loans and all that, and also financial literacy.
That's new.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for
being
having
here.
me.
Yeah, of course. I was excited to actually learn what you do today.
I think that's something that a lot of people wonder about. Well, what exactly is it that you do? Because we do it so differently, and people have a really broad-based idea about student loans. I mean, it comes inherently with an awful, terrible topic. I don't even want to, and we lighten that. We lighten that load. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So talk about what inspired you to start this company. And the question I'll ask later, but I want you to think about is like, was there a experience that happened that you wanted to start this company because of something that happened to you?
Well, I loved teaching. I did. But I loved being a mom more. And I think sometimes when we talk about the trajectory of our lives, I mean, I started as a teacher and then wanted to be a principal, and then in comes my two children, and the trajectory of my life completely changed from that point on. And I found a colleague, and that person had been working in the student loan field for a while. And so I was really green and new, and really started to learn from that individual and realized that there was a massive component missing. That student loan borrowers have a story, and they're way beyond an account number and way beyond a monthly payment, their servicer, that there's a story wrapped into student loans, right? So I took that experience prior, picked it up, infused some of my teaching skills, teaching strategies, and brought that to NewBeginnings. So when we started in April of 2016, it was a process that we really started with and continued to develop as the years went by. And now it's the one resource that and I'm sure we'll talk about that, one resource that every single student loan borrower should have. For sure. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Was there a moment that like you were like, did you have a bad student loan experience?
No. Just having conversations in staff rooms. It was always a big complaint. It was always a topic of conversation when it came to having to further education as a teacher. You have to continue your certification. So then therefore you've got to go to college and keep up on your credentials. And that exacerbates your student loan balance, right? Just to be able to do what you love to do, right? And that's pretty widespread. So it was that kind of conversation that led and really grounded in what it is that we do, because uh, teachers qualify for a specific loan forgiveness program. And so then not only with our main or our first individualized student loan assessment, but a loan forgiveness program that is specifically for teachers, it was those two components that really pushed us to start and really emphasize in those two areas to start. Yeah.
Mm. So when you say you do student loan advocacy, like what does that mean? Are you like talking to people in the state and the national government like about loan forgiveness or loan like what does that mean?
The student loan advocacy, again, it comes from my teaching background.
Mm.
It was really important and what we learned along the way. I mean, there were so many parallels to teaching and students, right?
Yeah.
Student loan borrowers have a story, right?
Mm.
They have a family, they have a career, they have life beyond their student loans, right? And a lot of those stories start to weave into how you can create a strategic plan of attack. And then once you have that strategic plan of attack and that student loan borrower has that clarity, that information, that peace starts to settle in, and then they don't want anything to do with it after that. And they
Mm.
say, hey, Carey, New Beginnings, can you take this over? And we advocate and work towards the goals that they
Mm.
have when it comes to their financial freedom, their student loans, an affordable monthly payment. So that's really where the advocacy comes in. And also, I believe it's also showing them that there's a different way to do this. You don't have to go down this straight and narrow of a standard repayment, a standard path, right? I feel like we advocate and work for and champion each student loan borrower and what their needs and goals are at
Mm.
those specific times, right? Life changes. So
Yeah.
then we pivot. That's advocacy too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So to help me understand like kind of your client relation, so a client will come to you, has a student loan that they would love that they want to pay off. They hire you to then help figure that out, and then you come up with a plan to then implement. Like,
Sure, let's take a few steps back.
okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
No. This is exactly why
Yeah,
we're here,
yeah,
is
for-
because those are the exact questions that we get all the time.
Mhm.
We always start with our individualized student loan assessment.
Mm.
And that's what we created. I created, and then it turned into we, right? In order to determine what are the best strategies for that specific student loan borrower. So somebody comes and calls us upset, complaining, I can't afford a $700 a month payment.
Mm.
This is what's happening in my life. And then we create that assessment for them. And what that assessment does is it comes in two parts, right? That first part is the yuck, right? It's your rap sheet, so to speak.
Mm.
It is the findings of fact of what your student loans are. And if you do nothing, this is what you're looking at, which a lot of people just say, okay, I'm just going to pay it like that. And they
Mhm.
struggle through it. Or, they go into default, which is a whole nother thing that's back in play now. So it's that first finding of fact. And then that second part shows them that they don't need to be stuck
Mhm.
in where they are. And so we show opportunities, strategies, and options that they can see in front of them in a tangible document. And then after they receive both of those, that compare and contrast, right? We always have an assessment review.
Mm.
So we talk to them about what we found. And then that's always how we start. And then people can take off with us. They can say, I got this on my own. And then that's when, if they choose to have us come on board and advocate for them, that's when their plan, their options, their choices are implemented, right? Does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of
Okay.
sense. Yeah,
Okay.
no, that helps a lot.
I think a lot of I don't know, I just have a ton of friends who have a lot of student loans, and that's just something that they've just accepted.
Mhm.
And they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to spend the rest of my life paying it off. It's not that big of a deal.
That is the most common thing we hear all the time. I just resigned myself to paying these till the day that I die. And that is not
Yeah.
the case. It does not have to be like that.
And some of them are just like, yeah, I'll get to them when I am like making more money, when I have like, they just are like, well, I'll get to it eventually.
Right. That's another one. And then with the new administration,
Mm.
now all the rules are back in
Yeah.
play. All of the rules are back in play. I mean, we've had 5 years of really kind of being able to take advantage of some super beautiful low monthly payments, and where people could kind of shove them to the side. That's not the case anymore. I saw some data that 1.7 million student loan borrowers are going to be in default in this month, and then add 1 more million to that. It's kind of like, when you tell kindergartners for a month, or no, let's just go for a week, because with kindergarten, or probably even just for a day, that they don't have to walk in line to the library, right?
Right.
So you can just walk in line, and that's what the last 5 years have been, right?
Yeah.
Woo! And it's been strategically really great for student loan borrowers and for New Beginnings, right? But now we have to pivot, which is what we've had to do a lot. Now the rules are back in play, and we have to walk in line to the library. And if we don't walk in line, right, then default, delinquency, all of that is coming back. And we have a lot of people that are calling us because wages are being garnished and taxes are being intercepted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's rules back in play.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should ask like the beginnings of New Beginnings, like in 2016. Like obviously there was a big shift in America in 2016. And was that a part of why you started it too? Like, was there any part of that, like with a new president in 2016?
No.
Okay.
And I'm going to be super candid about all that. My son actually named the business. He wrote it on a napkin one day. And I said, that's brilliant, because I'd be somebody who would think about it for months, right? It was really a point in my life where I knew I wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
I wanted to be of service just the same way that I was in teaching.
Yeah.
But really, it was throwing myself into the fire and learning all that I could. And, it's trial and error, just like anybody starting a business. And luckily, we've been successful for almost 10 years. But there's really no burning bush or woo moment for us to start. It was like, let's go. This is a need, and there's a great need for this. So you better start learning.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's a great transition to the SIMBA connection of I mean, in the beginning of starting the business, like I imagine there's a lot of trials and tribulations. And when did you get involved with SIMBA? And was there a moment when running your business, you're like, I need help?
And here's the irony about that is I just emailed Robin something about grants, and she was like, well, that's what we do for members. It just blew my mind. I think did it start with us together?
Well,
and then maybe
I know that a while back, you met with Robin, and SIMBA was able to provide a grant with you. Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm like, I wasn't at SIMBA at the time, but that's what. Yeah.
It was the COVID grant.
Yes,
yeah. And that actually,
during that time we were giving out a lot of COVID grants. Unfortunately, we don't have those anymore. But
right.
Yeah, and so that's how you got into SIMBA, and then I wasn't there, but I know Robin worked, and she was really sad she couldn't make it today because she wanted to hang out with you.
Okay, I love her. They've been nothing but supportive, especially when it comes to my least favorite part of my job, which is social media. But they believe in what we do. SIMBA just believes in what we do. And I think that that's one of the greatest gifts as a business owner who really is super passionate about what we do, to have local and community support. And SIMBA's been a big one. They've been huge. Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. So, so it started with the moment of just reaching out to Robin or reaching
I believe it was an email that she sent, because I was already with SIMBA. I wasn't a contributing member. I wasn't at that level at that time. And then I knew after that grant, how much it changed us, that I wanted to be a part of something like that for other businesses in Spokane. Right.
Yeah.
And what they do, I fully believe in, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carey is always our number one champion.
Well, you're our number one champion.
Yeah, I think we love like seeing what you did, and it was such a different concept that we just never heard of. And we just thought it was super valuable. So we're very happy that you joined SIMBA and became a member.
I'm grateful. I think that's one of the things as a business owner, it can get pretty lonely.
Yeah.
Right.
I was talking, me and Lex were just talking right before you showed up, and I was like saying, telling her about a friend who's like been going to all these different kind of maybe entrepreneur networking events or in meeting people, but there's some very like predatory like networking groups, like and I was just like, man, you got to go work with SIMBA. Like, had you had experiences like that, like where you were trying to find a community of other entrepreneurs or business owners and you just couldn't find it?
If we're being real,
Yeah. Yeah.
I am a little antisocial.
Okay.
I really dig s- when it comes to reaching out and doing things like that. I get very, nah, I got stuff to do. Right. And
Yeah.
I just so much love what I do that, my client relations director, Riley Hildebrand, and myself, we're on the phone with people all the time. And
Mm,
so, that feeds that relationship part. But when it comes to, I mean, it has been trial and error when it's come to groups like that, right?
Mhm.
A lot of it, and I think it goes back to people not understanding what we do. So it's almost like they pivot. I don't even
mm,
get what she does. So yeah, it's a hard concept to relay to people what it is that we do. And sometimes those social networking things, they are beneficial, and I've been
mhm.
pushed by some friends in business, right, to
Mhm.
come out and do some of them. But yeah, it's I don't feel like I've been duped. I think it's just business owner Carey Donaldson choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, but yeah, how do you find members? I mean, find clients. Like, how do people find New Beginnings when someone's looking for what you do? It seems like a very niche business, but it very needed.
Right. That's probably for a couple years ago, I used to tout, "Hey, we've been working on referrals for the last 4 or 5 years," right? And
Mm-hmm.
at that point, it was really great. And then I got a little bit of humble, and I was like, "But that's not good enough,"
Mm,
right? We work primarily on a referral basis. Most of our clients are that.
mm,
We're trying to push and get out there more. That's why we've hired a new social media person. But we have people all across the nation. But those people across the nation are all referrals,
Mm.
right?
mm,
So this is a beautiful platform to be able to get out the message, because I do hear a lot of people say, "I wish I would have known about you 3 years ago." And those are the moments where I sit there and go, dang, because I mean, the student loans just comes with cynicism anyway, right? And
right.
there's a lot of things I don't like to do, so I put them off and I procrastinate with them. And it's just nature of the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're just trying to find that way to break through. I mean, we're to be in this specific business for over 9 years in Spokane,
Yeah.
Washington, is for me, and I'm trying to be humble about it. It's pretty extraordinary. I'm grateful for what it is that we do and where we were at, but it's like, okay, what's the next level? We're ready for the next level, right?
Yeah.
We
Mm-hmm.
want to help as many people as possible, and that's why we've developed new programs, which
Yeah.
we might talk about.
You said earlier that you were doing financial literacy, and I've noticed that you guys have been doing a lot more events and classes.
Yes.
Mm,
So,
hmm
can you tell us about that?
Well, I'm on the board of, well, we're not the board, we're the advisory board for Gonzaga's New Venture Lab.
Oh,
mm,
And
nice.
I've been on that board or been an advisor for a while, and was with a cohort probably about 3-4 years ago. And they did some work for us and asked me to come on board with that. And um, this last fall, about a year ago, we were chosen to be a part of a cohort. New Beginnings was, right. So
mm,
we had a cohort of students who worked on a specific area of the business that we wanted to expand to, and that's our college outreach program. Because one of our statements is we want to be able to help as many student loan borrowers as possible, right?
mm-hmm.
And in that cohort of students, we found that there was very little, if any, financial literacy discussion on campuses
Mm.
about student loans, right?
Yeah.
So we'll hand out this financial aid and then see ya.
Yeah.
And you got that 6-month grace period, fingers crossed. You're looking for a new job. Here's a $700 a month payment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
new college graduate. So in that cohort, we got a lot of data and statistics about the lack of financial literacy. What is a direct subsidized loan? What are my loans? What is that? Um, we got a lot of data about that at institutions, and there's really a system that's lacking. So we've been pushing it out there, that Gonzaga cohort team really helped us kind of take a step back going, dang, right? This is another area that we can bring our area of expertise into. So that's been a real big push for us. We've been developing that program, seminars on it. Yes. We're looking more so to have that be a little bit more robust in the fall. But yeah, there's a real need there. And then we're even working on trickling it down to high school outreach.
I was going to ask about that. Like, do you like to start in the beginning with like a high school graduate?
That's our goal. From beginning to end, because for the last 9 years, we've really dealt with student loan borrowers, not dealt, but, have been advocates for student loan borrowers who are well beyond their graduation, right?
Yeah.
They've had $40,000 that has spiraled into $120,000 and they're still paying, and they're 45 years old. They're well into their career, things like that.
Yeah.
And now that's what we're trying to do, is bring that way back to that high school, soon graduating high school student. Okay, here's what these things are. Parents, here are what these things are. Then to those college students who are about ready to graduate, what do I have? And how can I tackle this? And then we're looking at the gamut. So we're really kind of building and growing. We just need to get our foot in the door somewhere, right?
Yeah. Does that also mean like you help with like people understand FAFSA, like parts of that? Like, I mean, I feel like I graduated high school and I didn't go directly to college. And then I just went to the falls and I paid it all up front. But like, I luckily never had student loans. And my wife was, she worked in the financial aid office when she went to Central. And so she learned the whole world of it. So she knew it pretty well. And she was able to pay off her loans. But like, I was thinking, like, when you talk about financial literacy and just learning about that, like, there's nothing that as a student that they even kind of prepare you for this, except for like probably like a handout that they give you, like, hey, read this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we found. I graduated from a private institution in 1997. Guess that dates me. And I played, collegiate sports. I had a collegiate, I played college soccer, and I had a scholarship for that. And then another scholarship, an academic one, but I still came out of that institution with $40,000 in student loan debt. And that was in 1997. So if you do that's a huge number, like for today, right?
Yeah.
I didn't care. I did not care. I was getting out of Spokane. I was going to play ball near the ocean, and here we go. Sign me up, right? And I think that's what a lot of students are ready to just do. They don't even think about it. Let's just sign it. Let's go. And that financial literacy piece, we just want people to, or have the opportunity at least, to be able to look at what they have. When it comes to the FAFSA, that goes down to our high school outreach program, which Riley Hildebrand is developing right now. And she's finding out all these nuances because there's a new FAFSA out now. And the rules are changing with that too. All the rules are changing very quickly for new student loan borrowers. Yeah, we've had to be on top of everything that's come out with the big beautiful bill, because that does affect student loans for sure.
Yeah, that was like my other question was, how is that going to affect student loans? And obviously big time.
And this is what I take little moments that happen, and I recognize them as massive learning points, right? I had a good friend of mine from junior high who called me and said, my first son went to GU and he had a full ride scholarship. The younger son is now wanting to attend Boise State, and we did the FAFSA, and this is all he's getting. And it is capped right now. It is capped. The federal student aid for a subsidized and an unsubsidized are capping, and it's not a lot. And so we had to run through, and in that case, that's its own individualized student loan assessment, right? At the high school level, to look at what is out there for parents as options, because as parents, we want our kids to grow and do and be. And, that scenario in and of itself had its own little story, right? All of these people that call us have their own little story. So we get invested in what's going on. And then in that case, we've got to start looking at, what do these Parent Plus loans look like? What are and who's going to absorb that, right?
Right.
Private loans, right?
Yeah.
Which ones have a cosigner release after 12 months, 24 months? Which ones have a variable interest rate? Which ones have, it's like car shopping. This
Yeah.
one's got this benefit. This one's got this benefit. But really, it's putting that information into that parent's hands and being able to say, okay, this is what this child I can do for this child, and this is how much this student is going to get to go to Boise State. Is this tracking?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it's making me ask so many questions. I
love it.
I have
Yeah.
2 9-year-old twins, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to deal with this in like the next like 7-8 years. But it hit me as just like when you get out of high school and you get accepted to like UW or Boise State or UCLA or wherever, like then the next step is like finding out how to pay for that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it never really occurred to me that like we're gonna have to figure out how to pay for it. And so there are loans, but like, are they easy to get? And is that kind of like what you help parents like migrate through?
It's very, and I think it's been this beautiful analogous process, right?
Mhm.
That we can pick up what we've done for people who are 45 and I've
Mhm.
been paying for a long time,
Yeah.
and bring it straight down to the high school aged student and their parent, right? Here are the facts, right? That's always how we start out. Here are the facts of what you have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then here are your options as a mom who has a son who wants to go there. What are your choices, right?
Yeah.
And it's all shifting right now. And it's our responsibility to stay up on top of all of that as a student loan advocacy company. And we spend a lot of time lately reading over all of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it is changing. And for new student loan borrowers, it's changing a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think like people are just so like I'm the same with you. I was very fortunate. I worked during college, so I was able to pay, and then I had some savings, so I didn't have to take any student loans. But I think when I graduated a long time ago, there was just this mentality of just like you are just going to get in debt, and that's the fact, and this is your life, and you just think about the next 4 years, but you don't think about in the next 10 years, 20 years, like you want to buy a house, you want to have kids, you want to like you're not thinking that far ahead. And I think starting and making kids, because they are kids, like high school graduate, like making them think about that is so important. Because you just think about the next 4 years, you just want to get through college.
Sure.
You don't think about how much of a struggle it is just to have debt constantly and always thinking about
And
it.
that's part of where we come in too. A few years ago, I was reading articles that were put out there telling a lot of the literature, a lot of the stuff out there is completely fear mongering. And I get it, right? I
Mhm.
totally get it. And I sit there in our office just going, if people would just know who we are, it doesn't need to be so scary. And that's what you just presented when it comes to 4 years and getting done. That's what we're here to do with that college outreach program, is so that people don't call us when they're 50.
Right.
That student who's just graduating does not need to call us when they're 50, because they're done in 10 years. We actually have, she was a referral, but we would lump her into our college outreach program. She came to us just having graduated, did both of her undergraduate and master's degrees, and she's a teacher, right? And so she came to us prior to her getting her first job. She's in the substitute area in Central Valley School District, and her loans will be gone in 10 years. Her specific loans will be gone in 10 years. And then her parents came in and did a Parent Plus loan. But that whole strategy with public service loan forgiveness, she's going to be done with paying all of her student loans off in 10 years because she came to us and got them set up in a way that she's not going to be stuck in that forever, because part of her story is, she's ready to get married, and ready for that first job. And we've got this all taken care of for her. And, we got her monthly payment down to $16 a month.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
That's those are strategies. Those are strategies, right? From $1,123 a month down to 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it is like, there is like a lot, like I feel like when you said fear mongering, I was like, yeah, I feel like we are kind of being like negative about it, but there is hope for when you go through college, and that you don't leave with, I mean, you're going to leave with debt, but like manageable debt.
Yeah.
Right. We help you manage it.
Yeah. You help you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because through that individualized student loan assessment, we show people how it can be manageable and not so scary. If you got somebody on your side that has years of expertise in this and has shown results, and we're still here, right? Almost 10 years later, you got somebody by your side. It's not as painful and it's not as scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes it, even like if I were, because I think about going back to school, and then the thing that stops me is debt. So I'm like, I have not had any, I don't want to go back to school, but I would love to continue education, but that's the first thing that stops me. And then I'm like, it's okay, I don't want to do it.
And that's, I know, and I love just being, a former teacher living in Spokane, Washington, running this business with my daughter, and running it successfully with results. It's like, it's beautiful to just be that small, right? I don't want to be that small. Because with what we do, we can help so many people eliminate that fear.
Yeah.
Eliminate, or at least quelch it a little bit, right? That it's not supposed to be as scary as what it's made out to be, right?
Yeah.
If you have information about it, right? You can make informed decisions and choices, right?
And I don't even, like, if I had to think about it, I don't even know where to start. And so having someone guide me to starting would be, and like kind of holding my hand a little bit. Like, I need my hand held a little sometimes. And so like just having you, like, that would just take like a huge weight off my shoulder. So I'm going to I tell my friends who are all I send them your website. I send them all your classes. I'm like, go talk to Carey.
It's not, and that's what we love. I mean, I get giddy, ridiculously giddy at anybody who schedules an initial strategic call. I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's dance.
Yeah,
we can help you. And without fail, there's always something. There's always something that puts people's minds at ease, and it's like, and then you can go find your new job. You can go play with your kids. You can go teach. You can go be those beautiful members of our community that we fight so hard for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, it sounds like anyone that has any type of student loan right now should just check out your website.
Yeah.
And just learn about you. Even if they seem to have it managed, like, it seems like it would be, if you could help, no reason not to reach out, right?
And that's where our individualized student loan assessment comes in. If that's all you do, you have a huge, powerful resource right in your hands. And then with that assessment review and talking to us about it, you can take that and run, right? With that one component, that one resource. We're really, it's probably the most, it's not the most powerful thing we do. It is the beginning to the most powerful thing we do, especially when it comes to how many clients we have that have received loan forgiveness. And I know it's kind of a hot topic, right? But the one, and I don't know if we're segueing into this, or you can say, oh, we're not going to segue into this, but it's one of the most powerful loan forgiveness programs that we work for when it comes to people who dedicate their careers to their community, right? And work, right? We work for people who work, right?
Yeah.
And it's a loan forgiveness program that is completely misunderstood. Well, I guess it's not there's layers, man. There are layers and there are strategies within it. That was one of the big reasons why I started New Beginnings was, public service loan forgiveness.
Right.
When you've got people who have dedicated and chosen their careers to help the betterment of the community, right? We fight hard for that loan forgiveness. And that's what that one individual I was talking about, she'll be done in 10 years because she's a teacher. She's on it.
Yeah.
She'll be done, right?
Yeah.
With that loan forgiveness program. That's another one of our big areas. I think we're up to like, I know it's rising, so I'm sorry if I don't have the exact number. We had like 62 million, 63, 64 million in public service loan forgiveness alone for our clients, right? That's for our clients alone. Just a little, Carey Donaldson, Spokane, Washington, fighting like heck for that for people. But that's one of our biggest areas of expertise, and is also showcased in our assessment. You do qualify for this, or you have almost all of it. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, it sounds like, so like if you're in public service and you're like working for a 501c3, a teacher, there's probably other avenues, but like that's an avenue towards loan forgiveness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the big one of the big misnomers about public service loan forgiveness is that you have to have that title. You have to be a teacher. You have to be a firefighter. You have to be a social worker. No, you don't. I mean, it does not matter what you do. It matters who you work for.
Yeah.
So it kind of pushes that I don't know if you want to call it notoriety to the side, but that opens the playing field for so many people who think that they don't qualify.
Yeah.
So you could be, you could be you could be mowing the lawns. You could be the greens person for the city of Spokane.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you qualify.
Yeah.
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 Interesting.
Para-educator.
Yeah.
You qualify.
Yeah.
Is there BIPOC loan forgiveness or like DEI like loan forgiveness for like less disadvantaged or less what am I trying to say? Like people that just
Economically disadvantaged.
economically disadvantaged. Like, is there loan forgiveness for that?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't mean no.
Oh.
I don't know. Being a woman of integrity, running a business of integrity, I tell it straight to everybody, right? I have no idea because we know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm mostly just curious because I think that there's people that I feel like people that get taken advantage by this are people who, they're trying to get a better life. They're trying to go to school. They're trying to and they came from a poor family and then they see the only way getting out of what they're in is to go to college, because that's what's told to us is like, go to college, you'll get a better life. And what a lot of people don't know is like, yeah, maybe you'll get out of the college and get a good job, but you also have all this loans. And I feel like, and I guess it comes with like FAFSA and like in other types of loans and grants, but scholarships. But I'm curious to know, like I feel like they're, well, maybe not in this administration, but
Yeah.
but I was just curious. Let's take a quick little tiny break. We're gonna play a game.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a game.
We have a game. After all this serious talk, we're gonna have a quick fire round. We call it this and that.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with just an easy one. Manitou Park in the spring or Green Bluff in the fall.
Yes.
You,
Do I have to make this or
no,
I'm
you
like
don't have to.
See, that's where my overthinking comes into play.
Yeah.
My gut says Manitou.
Yeah.
I love Green Bluff.
No long lines when you're going to Manitou in the
True.
spring.
Yeah.
Very true.
So for maybe the construction you're getting.
Yeah. But you get snacks out. You can get like good snacks and like wine and stuff at
The
Green
Bluff,
Bluff.
yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, I go to Manitou every day, so
that's
that's
right.
why. That's my cue. Okay, Flying Goat Pizza or Chaps Brunch.
Man, I'm supposed to do that as a local business.
Yeah.
What? Say that one more time.
Flying Goat Pizza or Chaps Brunch.
It's pizza every
Pizza?
single time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love a good Flying Goat Pizza.
I love really good Flying Goat pizza.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite pizza in Spokane?
All pizza. We just got a pizza stone at our house, so we're trying all things. My son really digs Benedito's. I'm always about wood fire, and I live right near Republic Pie, so we're always pizza. South Perry Pizza.
That's
love them too.
I've been going there a lot recently, like too much.
Yeah, I love pizza.
Yeah.
So earlier I learned that you're a big music fan, but then I also heard that you went to school for soccer. Are you still a big soccer fan?
Yeah.
Would you rather go be front row at like a women's World Cup match or front row at like your favorite like musician?
A front row favorite musician.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can watch soccer at home, right? And be like, woo, let's go in front row of front row for sure.
Have you done front row before?
Yes.
Who?
Need to breathe.
Oh.
Could I get, or yes, them. And I could have been front row with Johnny Swim, but I'm not going to push my way into the, the front row at a
What?
small place. No,
I always push my way up. I'm like, yeah.
But it would only be for select bands, right? Certain bands would I push my way to the front row.
Yeah.
It would be Need to Breathe and Johnny Swim for sure. Yeah.
I've never sat front row for a sporting event, but I did have a chance to be front row at Justin Timberlake.
You did?
Like
Even
it was
right
like it wasn't front row of the whole show. It was like part of the show. He came out to this other, like this middle platform that we happened to get tickets to, and I tried to give him knuckles, and he did not give me knuckles.
Oh,
but I did get to see Justin Timberlake like serenade an entire audience like right in front of me. It was really cool.
I was like
That
the
would be
biggest
great.
Justin Timberlake fan when I was a kid.
I would choose that as well.
So jealous.
I wish I could go to every show front row. It's the best.
Yeah.
You want to take the next one?
Oh, okay. Okay. This is now. This question doesn't fit you because you just went to Riverfront Park. It sounds like Riverfront Park's stroll or Centennial Trail bike ride.
Centennial Trail bike ride.
Yeah, because earlier I don't know. We were talking. You just figured out that Riverfront doesn't have rides anymore.
I know.
And I was like, where have you been, Carey?
Sorry,
What?
Christine Burns. I love you.
Yeah.
Shameless plug to Christine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Centennial Trail.
And I think I like it because I think I choose that too. Part of my antisocial kind of, and it's not even antisocial. Just I just really dig being grounded and by myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that with what we do, there's a lot of energetic transfer, right? I think Riverfront Park, I might sit there and be like, "Can I be on the Centennial Trail, please?" By myself.
Well, I think technically you could be on the Centennial Trail and the Riverfront Park at the same time.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. Have you lived in Spokane like your whole life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I was born and raised in Spokane and left to go to college in Los Angeles. And then I lived in Seattle. So I started teaching in Los Angeles and then taught in Federal Way and then taught in Maryland. And then came back here in 2000. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I've been here since 2000. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Kiddos kind of bring you back too?
No.
No?
I didn't have Riley till 2002. She's
okay.
23, but
Gotcha.
no, just came back.
Yeah.
It always sucks people back, but I'm
Mhm.
happy to be here. I love it here. Yeah.
Yeah.
where did this like servitude and like wanting to help people like come from? Like, was it in your upbringing? Like, or is it just like this is who you became?
I think it's always just been a part of who I am, right? And I think that being a part of a team, this goes way back, being part of a team that lost. I mean, when it came to collegiate soccer, right? I went to a program that was growing. And so that was a completely different athletic experience where it was, okay, there's a bigger picture here than just winning soccer games like I experienced in Spokane, right? And I think my experience at Loyola Marymount, it kind of a lot of that started there. And then, well, actually I went in as a biology major, but I couldn't do all of it. So I changed to liberal studies and my mom was a teacher. And so the minute I started teaching, and then I think it's always been, I don't even know if it's more so serving as advocacy, right? You know, I taught a lot of kids in different situations and different experiences. And it's just always been in me to fight.
Yeah.
I love a good underdog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's always been a part of me, and I just get so much from it, right? Those phone calls from student loan borrowers that we work for, you get off the phone sometimes and I've cried, right? We've had people be able to retire.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
Do you have like any specific like person who's like success story that's kind of stood out to you and like makes you kind of keep going and keep plugging along?
Now you're going to make me get teary.
Oh no.
You know, my mom died in 2019, and yeah, this is the first time I've gotten teary about it. And you know, she was a teacher for 30 years in Central Valley School District, and she's never left my side. Does that? And I get little nudges all the time of, you know, no scarcity mindset, Carey.
Yeah.
No scarcity mindset, Carey. What you're doing is keep doing it. Because not only do I get to do that, I get to be a mom too, right? And that's a big part of who I am. And my kids got to see this from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
And I have time for them too.
Yeah.
So I can work on the weekends when I say Thursday, I'm going to hang out with Kellen, who's he'll be a junior at WSU and he'll be going back soon, right? There's always been parts of my mom that have that I felt along the way. That's girl, you've got it, Carey.
Aw,
You're my daughter, Carey. Yeah,
love that.
yeah,
And it's also like a family business because you get to hang out with your daughter all day.
I do. I do.
That sounds fun.
Well, and here's the beautiful part about that too, is my kids, and especially Riley, she is so good at what she does.
Yeah.
And she's so willing to learn, and she knows how important her role is, especially as client relations director. I mean, she is that point of contact, right? Because I've had to take on so many more portions of the business development side. We really work hard at that work relationship and really work hard at separating, because we're best friends too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
she just came down here with me, and it's a beautiful dance, and there's been some stuff, but we walked through all of it successfully, and she just continues to want to be better for the clients that we service, right?
Yeah.
So I'm lucky.
Yeah. Your best friend, your daughter, and your coworker.
Yeah.
That's great.
Who sits right across from me.
Yeah.
Every day.
And
Except
roommate?
Mondays.
And roommate?
No.
No. Okay, good. I was going to say like that could be tricky.
Maybe. We can talk about affordable housing and all that stuff too. So it's beautiful. I'm really lucky. She humbles me and helps me grow as a woman, as a mom, as a business owner too.
Oh, that's amazing.
When you were teaching and did you have an inkling of wanting to like be an entrepreneur, like starting your own business? Like, did you see that as like you're out from teaching eventually, or did this or were you one of those? Like, I was a person who's like, I'm never gonna own my own business. Like, were you either one of those?
No. I thought I was going to be a teacher forever. Well, I was going to be a principal, right?
Yeah.
I was going to be a principal, and then here comes Riley. And I remember being in my master's program at WSU, and with all of these beautifully strong women who are like, yeah, we can do this. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. Well, it started as wanting to be a middle school principal, because I love middle school. I love 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. That's where I land, right? And then it was like, oh no, I want to be a elementary principal, because then you don't have to work as much, which is a total joke too. That's not true to any elementary principal in our area. And then when my daughter was born, I was like, absolutely not. My whole world changed when I had children. And then when my son Kellen came, and because at that time I was teaching part-time. And then when he was born, I had the beautiful opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom until he was in kindergarten. And I think I've never even reflected on that. But that's where it really came from, is I so enjoyed being able to be available for my children.
Yeah.
And when I saw that slipping, when I was teaching 8th grade English and 8th grade, it just kind of, it lit that fire. Like, there's got to be something else for this woman who just wants to be a mom, but still wants to be of service, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like any advice for any people who are thinking about starting a small business? Anything you have to say, or like any like struggles, anything lessons you learned?
SIMBA. That was the first thing that came to my mind. You have to be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
It's not even at almost 10 years of owning a business. There are highs and there are lows, right? And the highs and the lows, at least for me, the lows aren't so low anymore, because we've been in it for so long. But to ride that out and sit in that and feel that and know that it's there, and that's just the nature of the beast, right? But one of my beautiful friends, Shauna, just even said this to me today. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, Carey. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. SIMBA, that's coming from the emotional side of it, right? When it comes to the business components of it, I was lost and I spent a lot of time, especially when it comes to what it is that we do. I mean, there's a lot of things I had to learn about. How do you even put in for an LLC? What is an LLC? What's we moved to an S corp. Okay. Being able to strategically figure out those little components from the start, get that base right. We had to come up with financial agreements and agreements when it comes to third-party information and personal information. I've really learned most recently the things that I don't like to do.
Yeah.
Right. You outsource it. You
Yeah.
outsource it, man.
Get help.
You get help with it. And SIMBA definitely does that. And I met Christine Burns with Posted Consulting at the gym.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
It was those are those moments that have happened. But I outsourced that. I outsource and know that there will be times when you outsource and it doesn't work out, and that's okay, right? There have been a few times, and it wasn't necessarily back to that the networking part. It was taking a chance with other components of the business, and it just fell completely flat. That our business, it's all about pivoting. And that's the same thing with owning a business, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to pivot and take a minute and get yourself grounded back in again. And the reason why, go back to the reason. You go back to your why every single time, and you make decisions based on that why, right?
Yeah.
We will not lose the advocacy part. We will not lose the individualized attention. We will not lose the communication. We will not make decisions that don't have that fundamentally grounded in what it is that we do. Stay grounded in your why.
Yeah.
And then outsource and SIMBA.
SIMBA.
Yeah, get help. Like especially like if you are good at helping people with student loans, you're helping, but you don't know how to do an LLC, like get help. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big thing. And you have to, release some of that control. I've really learned that I'm a beautiful micro controller. Not necessarily macro control, but even those little things.
Yeah.
Look for help. Ask for help.
Yeah.
Outside of, I feel like SIMBA, outside of getting the grant through SIMBA, like being like your introduction, like how has being part of SIMBA impacted your journey with New Beginnings?
I know that that organization, that SIMBA, is there. If I have any questions, even this is just coming to me now. It's ironic. They're my advocate, right? That's what we do for our clients. And then I can turn to the right and know, oh, wait, SIMBA's there as my advocate, right? And I'm grateful for that. I know that I can always rely on SIMBA if I do have questions. And I know there's a lot more that are involved in SIMBA that I haven't even tapped into. I know that. I feel like a student loan borrower, right? That I kind of turn my head with some of it. Everything's analogous to what it is that we do. It's kind of ironic, but I know there's a lot more that I could tap into and a lot more that they provide that I haven't taken advantage of yet, but I know that they are there as my business advocate, right?
Yeah.
So that I'm grateful for.
I always love getting like emails from you. Like,
put it on your website.
Yeah.
Put it on there. Oh, Carey, by the way, we've just created that. I'm like, dang it, you can't just do that.
Oh yeah. We just started up. Yeah. We started, all of our members can now post events on our website. And Carey was the first person who I showed it to. I was like, hey,
That's awesome.
You can do the work, Carey.
Yeah.
And the kind of the final closing question is like, what would you say to someone thinking about joining SIMBA?
It goes back to exactly like what we do too. And I'm not trying to revert it back to what we do, right? They listen to your story. They listen to your story. They understand they take the time to understand where you're going, the things that you're looking for. And I think that's, just as we look at individual student loan borrowers, their story, their goals, that's exactly what SIMBA does for business owners, local business owners. You're an advocate. SIMBA provides those options, opportunities that business owners can take advantage of that are specifically for that business and that niche or that whatever it is that they're doing. So very much like what we do, that's exactly what you do for local business
I
owners.
didn't even think about it, but yeah,
There
totally.
you go. I'm an analogy girl.
I love that.
I am. Yes.
Yeah, and we all, and like what you said earlier, like we definitely focus on advocacy and being an advocate for small businesses, and that's important, and that's what keeps us going. And we have to always remind ourselves, like when it gets like tough and everything, just like the advocacy part, and just is important.
That's leaning back into your mission and purpose, right?
Yeah,
business. Yeah. I love that. I love it.
Well, this is such a cool conversation, and I can't wait to I have things I want to say off camera because I feel like there's definitely some synergy here. But I this is cool. I feel like at the end, I feel like the end of every episode I've done so far, when I've hung out with like Mountaintop Mentality with Josh and Legit Creative, and now with you, it's just like I'm amazed by like all these small businesses that are in Spokane that like I didn't know about before or didn't know well, and it's such a cool service that you provide, and it's so needed, and I can't wait to like when my kids go to and by then I'll probably know you much better, and I can reach out to you and figure out how to do this with my kids. So like or if I ever want to go back to school and figure out so really, really cool. How can people connect with New Beginnings Spokane?
Well, we have our brand new website, which I did not outsource. I did it myself. Well, and that's nothing to be congratulated. It was the other website was way too tricky for me to even get in there and make any changes. Our website is www.nbspo.com. That is always revolving, and we're trying to keep up with the changing times. You can also, on that website, you can schedule your initial strategic call with us. You can always reach out to myself at Carey, Carey, at nbspo.com. And we have direct numbers on that website as well. So I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna send everyone your phone number.
I'm not scary. Let's talk scary topics, and I'll make it not so scary.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, if you're listening and you are interested in becoming a SIMBA member, go to
www.spokaneindependent.org. Also, if you made it through this whole podcast, we have a discount code, 15% off for a year of the supporting or nonprofit membership. If you use POD15, you get 15% off for a year. And then also follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We also
Forgot
have
about that.
Live Local INW, where you can go and find small businesses to support. And book a business consultation with us if you're thinking about starting a business.
Well, and I think that goes back to how much I really do love social media. Yeah, we're on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
Yes. LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn too. I don't take care of that stuff. So outsource.
I'm the person who has to take care of it, and I forgot about it.
Also, I would say get on SIMBA to add your events too.
Yes, if you're a member, we just if you become a member, you can add your events. But if you're a Live Local INW business, you can add your events on there for free.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, next episode, I think we're having Vexing Media on. I'm not sure who.
I think the whole team. I was going to tell you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Get some. I was like, how many microphones do you
have? How many is that? But we'll be there. We'll be back next time with them. And then thank you again, Carey, for coming on.
Thank you for the opportunity.
In the Den.
Yeah.
Again, thank you all so much for listening. Until next time, peace.